Hi everyone, welcome back to this week weekly market update. As usual, let's take a look what happened on last week, following by things to take note for the coming weeks and any opportunity that we managed to scan through over the weekends and to prepare ourselves for the coming week as well. So remember, if you have been following and thinks that my video does benefit you, remember to share and like, subscribe to my YouTube video and my Telegram group as well, so you can enjoy more benefit and share to your anyone who are trading or investing at the moment as well too. So as you can see that last week itself, right, due to Friday is a Good Friday, there's only 4 trading days itself, but last Friday is also an important economy data reporting day. Basically, it's a non-farm payroll and the unemployment rate itself. Alright, so we can see that even though the market is not trading, but I think there's the futures market of S&P and also the Treasury yields gain on Friday as the March labor report show resilience in economy. Okay, so we can see that the job added is 236,000, about in line with the expectations, because the expectation is 238 instead. So 2,000 jobs, not much huge difference. And the unemployment rate fell to 3.5% from 3.6% earlier. All right, so is so-called a contradict between good and bad news. However, I think right now the market actually shows some sentiments from the reports over the week. They say that they don't think Fed is going to weakens their standpoint, not going to hike the rate anymore. All right, so they may still follow it in line of what they planned previously. So the next interest rate decision is actually on the 3rd of May, as you can see. Okay, 3rd of May. So I think most likely will be another 25 basis point, unless there is any just like SVB news, any news that actually came out in between, or otherwise should be a quarter point going to announce next Friday. I mean, in the May itself. All right. So, of course, next week the CPI data release is also one of the factors that actually will shift the market sentiments on betting whether the Fed will increase the rate or quarter point or half semi, or not even increase. But what does all this mean, right? Is if let's say this is more on the biggest picture view, that you should know where the market is going up or down, because as the rate continue to go higher, a lot of things is going to flow out, like especially bank is one of the factors, right? The yield rate is one of the factors, so a lot of things is going to affect the US economy itself, okay, or the dollar itself that is linked to the commodities itself. So there's a lot of chain link, intermarket link in between everything. But if let's say you are not that savvy to all these fundamental all these data, right? Sometimes we just stick to the basics of going into the chart directly itself, right? So last week, just to follow up, what we have been talking on is actually congratulations to C3AI. If let's say you have been following or you have actually joined, I guess you might be panning out on last week on this counter itself, because of the fund house. They submit or they complain to the SEC saying that the C3 is not, there's a fraud in their reportings, auditing reportings. So at the market crash almost close to 30%. So people who didn't profit last week itself, all your profit will turns to ash, correct? But if let's say you are looking at long-term really basis by charting, right, actually this noise in between, right, is not going to affect you that much. It's just that for people who are short-term day traders, they can swing in, swing out in between. But you think AI is the way to go, you prefer to buy and hold, ignore the noise, because we are still in the trend of upside at the moment, even though there's companies saying that they are doing flawed in their reportings. Okay, I will talk about that later. What is my view on it? So DJI resistance level, no change. 33,500 is solid over there for the last week, as I mentioned in my Telegram group, right? So it has been hovering. So whenever you go to 33,600, that is a shorting point, because I don't see any strong point. If you know how to do intraday, if you know how to trade futures, then congratulations. In a smaller time frame, you know how to trade. I will show you what I did as well. Of course, some reward for JDs. There's also one I mentioned in my last week video, but I didn't write out. There's one secret counter to my private group. Of course, I mean, you can feel free to join. You might it's a small amount of money, you think that you want to get free stuff, then sometimes I may help you out. But for private, I think they paid for it, they need more privilege compared to the public, right? But doesn't mean it's a huge apart, just that they are one step announced of what my view is to them instead. Okay, show you some of the pictures as well as too. All right, so before we go into that, right, just to take note, next week CPI data followed by uh, earnings reporting. All right, earnings reporting kickstart next week, especially from the bank sector itself. We know that bank is very sensitive at the moment due to the SVB. First Republic Bank, I think they just announced a news to block their dividend payout to the preferred shares. If I'm not wrong, later we can take a look as well. So this all bank sector is going to be very sensitive to what is happening to the financial industry, the financial sector. So people who are holding the financial ETF, right? Like for example, XLF. I think SLF. So XLF is the financial ETF, right? You will be very sensitive on how it moves next week itself after the reporting on Friday. I think it kickstart on Thursday, on Friday itself. Okay, so watch out if you are holding any shares. Okay, so that is the kickstart. After the bank, there will be a lot. So this is what I'm saying. I think there you go. First Republic Bank to suspend their dividends on preferred stocks. Okay, so it's some like bad news. You can take it bad news, you take it a good news. To me, I can take it a good news because you only pay a dividends if, let's say, your company is doing well, there's no prospect growing, then you want to pay and reward your shareholders, right? But if, let's say, something wrong, if your company, you suspend it, is actually to save yourself first. Outside people may think that, oh, your company is not going to sustain anymore, so I better sell my stock and run away. Some people think, whoa, the company management is doing some things. They are being responsible, to clear their issues. That's why what they did is a good choice, and we can see more prospect in them. So it's depend on how the market, read the news and how they react to the news itself. So, but looking at the time bigger picture, I think, which I also mentioned, KRE. I think I mentioned, this is what I said, KRE. Watch this video, how to plan for your dollar cost averaging trade. I even write the chart, draw the chart, a couple of points for you to consider. So people who do not own any banking ETF, you may consider to nipple a bit, which is always my words, right? Always start from small, then slowly go in. All right, never dump all your war chest in one trade. Okay, so let's go into my couple of glory first before we go into the individual stocks. So this is what I mentioned. This is one of the telegrams. So I posted in my telegram. If you join, this is the public. I did told you guys. Right now Dow is close to 33,500, which I written in my page previously. As you can see, the resistance level. All right. So when I stated there, and one of my student actually asked, is it or one of my subscriber actually asked, is it a time to short? I just replied not yet, but when it comes to the time it's about to short, I give the call. All right, so you can see that my I did shorted on Dow. The first TP level is 33,300. Indeed, it went there. People who are looking should know. Okay, it went there, so I asked him to use short. Okay, the thing is that even though my short entry is 33,560, usually I don't give call in the futures market. I just give you a direction. It's because futures market sometimes it move way faster. All right, it's hard for you to react, hard for me. After I entered, I have to come in and post, so it's hard as well, right? Or sometimes it's a pre-planned trade, so sometimes it's based on price action. There's a lot of way, unless today you learn my trading style. All right, right now I just offer on a subscription trade signal basis. That's why it's hard, but which I enter, I see it's a good point. I give a call, so I did enter. So people who actually manage to short when it go to 600, slightly above the 33,500, whereby stop loss is nearer, risk is higher because confirmation is lower, but profit is also higher definitely. All right, so just to share with you why sometimes I don't share on the futures market or forex or commodities itself. Share on stock because we can plan more, and it's not that fast. All right, you don't move that fast. Okay, so another stocks which I mentioned in the public, the private telegram group, is actually J&J, Johnson and Johnson. As you can see from the chart itself, right? I mean, if you think that I'm on the high side to draw these, I do any covering, by all means. But what I can say that this is all the profit that we have. We actually entered at a price of 155 and we reached around 163, which is my take profit level. So let's take a look at J&J, where it's on the private Telegram group. Let's take a look at a weekly chart. This is actually a perfect trade. I feel that. So I give a call on the day itself, 1st of April. I shared with them on the subscriber. We say that we can actually long below 155. So this is our stop loss 149. Our TP is 160, 162. All right. So let's take a look at the daily chart. We can see that the price after the 1st of April, many people took action. All right. Not only me. Most of my students actually took actions. I asked them to share some of their glory with me, right? So we took in at 155, some entered at 156, 155, 1554, 156. This gentleman also 155. So they really pay attention to it and they enjoy it. Yes, you may think it's only a 5%, 4% return, but a return, a profit is a profit, a return is a return, correct? So we took it out. We close the trade. Basically, why? We respect what we trade, what we charted. We say that the TP is 160, 162, 165. So 165 is this level. As you can see, the chart actually gap up. This is mainly due to one of the news it mentions. I think one of the lawsuit they won. But to be frank, I do this chart based on TA without any fundamental, without any news. All right, based on TA, I think it's good. Of course, there's way of how I view my TA over here. I'm not going to share much, but I did draw my charting. I did draw my price. Okay, so we took it out at 165. Even though the following day it went to the price of 167, but we are just being contented, right? We chart. We do what we chart, right? So that's why when you are trading, it's not going to be so exciting. It's not going to be so exciting because you pre-plan your steps earlier, right? So if you have joined me, people are still thinking whether to join. I think a small sum, it should cover your payout, right? As you can see, this gentleman's 240. All right, so he got his my subscription is only 240 for half a year. One trade, he cover everything back. True enough. I mean, I can be showing a good profit. You may think that, oh, because my losses I did not show. Yes, I do have losses as well. If you have been following, sometimes my trade does go haywire. How do you know my trade goes haywire? When I'm sharing my chart here, let's say you pick up one of the sharing that I had and the charts go against, means I'm losing money. Alright, so yes, I may not be showing negative, so next time I have a negative, I will ask them to show me, and I will show you guys as well. Alright, so but ultimately it's how you manage your risk, how you manage your trade, how you plan your trade wisely. That's why in the overall long run, usually when you have 70 to 80% hit target rate, you should be still at the green side for now so far. Alright, so that is also one of the sharing. So this guy actually, I give the code at J&J to your watch list. I give the code to buy. Okay, they also asked me. I think I also asked basically there's some chat also. Yes, wonderful master from you, but I'm only providing a signal, not going to teach at this moment. I'm doing something on that. Hopefully in futures, if you guys are keen, just feel free to join me as well. All right, so that's all for my glory sharing. Let's back to the chart itself for this coming week. So let's take a look at Dow Jones Index. So for Dow Jones Index, we know it's sensitive. Why? Because it's the earnings report and the CPI. I think it's on Tuesday, if I'm not wrong. All right, Tuesday or Wednesday. Okay, so it depends on the time frame. So take note, in the smaller time frame scale for Dow Jones, 33,500 is still a very crucial minor resistance level. All right, the pivot point. If we break 33.5, then we may see at the high side. Okay, so I'm not going to say what is my standpoint right now because it's very close. Yes, I might be biased on the upside because based on either TA or all right, so it's based on TA or FA. I think I'm more biased on the upside. So we shall see whether it break, then we may go higher. Okay, so this is what I did. It came here, always close 36,000, 33,600. I will short it. This is very intraday trade. Don't follow it if you are not well equipped with the skill yet. All right, plan for a bigger picture, then we trade from there. Okay, so my view, my point of view for Dow Jones remain the same. So basically it's 33.5, 34, 34.3. Break would not be a good sign. All right, so no change, status remain cool. All right, so let's go to Next counter. Alright. Let's go to C3. I think a lot of people is actually worried about this counter itself. So this C3. Okay, so this is what happens, storytelling right now. So this is the big flush out, true or not, big flush out. So what happened is that I wrote previously in my I wrote this. All right. So thanks to this capital who actually announced that they shorted on the 29 March. Remember, the time is very crucial. They shorted on the 29 March. Okay, take note lah. They first announced, right? Before that, they announced. So I take at 29 March the highest price. So 29 March, the highest price is $26. If they announce it, right, that means they have been shorted way before or whatever. So the price actually got short squeezed. It went 20% to 34. All right, 34.50. That's the highest. So if let's say you are the fund house with $1 million asset where you are shorted, of course your face will go, rubbish bin, right? Because you say you are now shorted, you tell the whole world, and then the market go higher. If they don't want to come out and say why they shorted, they don't want to do anything, this jump will not save them because of what they reported. The price dropped to $21, and when they shorted at 29, I take at $25, they are actually in profit right now. And then the market actually bounced back on last Thursday itself. We can see clearly and clear cut from a weekly perspective, right? If let's say they are really doing so many hanky-panky stuff, why the price is still supported at $20. So all along on the 12 Fed, I mentioned 22, 20, 18, 15. This is a more on longer term basis. If let's say you believe that this is a trend going up, you can always nimble a bit at $20 or close to there. All right, so people who miss out, thanks to them, perhaps they announce a letter, all the player went out, go short, and then the price pushed down to 20. They get out of the trade, they enter into the trade. You also will know. Am I right to say? So you can see that right now. This is what happening to say. So actually, C3 came out and say that a short seller report stock price manipulations. It's clear cut manipulation. All right. To be frank, if let's say you have Google more in depth, we all know that this company is not earning profit at this point of time. All right, don't call about revenue. All right, it's not earning money. So if let's say they really want to do some hanky-panky thing on the accounting issue, why will they do in a way that they are still in the red? Why will they do where they are still saying that, oh, I'm still losing money? Why? Correct. Maybe they lose more or they reported less, but lose is still a lose, right? The fundamental guy using DCA, using those dividend discount model, they will not get any good intrinsic value for all fundamentalists, correct? So why do they do that? I'm not sure. I mean, this is just my my way of thinking, processing. If let's say you go below, the more I just hold. If let's say they really got any deep issue, then the most I just cut. So it's just part of my trade. I'm not going to dump my whole saving in here, but it's how you manage it. So my view on this counter remain the same. I was still thinking that this is a good entry price. We are still looking at the IPO price to cover up. So by next week, if the price able to recover, the market believe in this company is not doing any shit. Short seller, because if you go higher another 2 candle, I think short seller is going to close it. Short squeeze will come in. If this whole next week the candle able to go back above 34, fantastic. The capital, I'm not sure how are they going to manipulate it the second time again. Okay, so remember, it's your risk reward how you actually play around with it. Okay, so next counter we move into, let me take a look, is actually on VIX. So for VIX itself, just to I don't really trade VIX, but we also look at it. I mentioned that April is actually a month to do is the month to pick up trade, right? So take note, where we are actually below 20, it's very sensitive. Anytime it may just go higher. So I believe maybe at the end of the month itself, I think the earnings report is going to bring a hype to the market. I previously explained as well. So next, after the earnings report, maybe towards the end of the April or the start of the May, sell in May and go away, correct or not? So right now, April, everyone pick it up. Second or third week, they will start to slowly, we may start to see price going higher with lower volume. If let's say VIX going to pick up, please follow the call, sell in May and go away. All right, so VIX monitor closely. Any pickup make the market go even lower. Okay, so let's take a look at other stuff like JD. I mentioned JD. I mentioned once again. This is what I shared previously in my private group. Alright. So private chat, I mentioned long 40. The price came down to 40. Did any one of you entered? So price always give you a second chance, correct? Price always give you a second chance. Yes, we may not know, but take note, dividend payout on XD on the 5th of April. So the price dropped due to XD. Fair enough. The following day, it shows some green candle. So by next week or during the week itself, the candle is able to cover the gap, go above 42. I think it's a good chance to nibble a bit. Alright, so it's always my words. Remember, the earnings report is on the 18th of May. Okay, take note, 18th of May. So don't say private Telegram group don't earn anything else. You guys also benefited. True or not? So enjoy the trade if it really does benefit you. If you really does profit from here, hopefully you share with me some screenshot as well. Or if you don't mind, join us as a private Telegram group as user as well. Okay, so let me take a look at okay. So if let's say Nasdaq is going to go stronger, take note on those technology sector. Google is also one of them. So this is technology. Nasdaq. To me, I think I give my call. My bias is actually upside for Nasdaq itself. All right, I'm more biased upside on Nasdaq itself. So if that's the case, I think Google have a chance of higher because it break out last Thursday. Alright, it break out last Thursday with a decent volume. So right now, monitor closely this price, which used to be a resistance support at 108. Alright, $108. If we able to break above, that will be good. Take note, earnings is getting closer on the 25th. Alright, on the 25th April. Alright, so breakout, close above, we'll see more upside for Google. But is it a correct price to enter after it went up almost 5% for last week itself? Subjective to individual. Alright, subjective to individual. Okay, so my view, after it break 108 with a good candle, we may see more upside for Google. And the next resistance level we will be looking is around 118. So there's a $10 in between. So it's how you look at it. Let me just draw something. Okay, sometimes I really, too many, and I don't remember all what I post. So I will take some time today just to write next resistance 118. Okay, break and close above 108 to see more bullish. Okay, so this is how I call, but will I enter? I may not enter. Okay, I don't like the candle that actually break out trade. Alright, I breakout trade is not my forte, so I don't really like it much, but doesn't mean it's not good. Okay, doesn't mean it's not good. Okay, so next counter I'm going to share with you today is a more speculative one. There's no fundamental, alright, purely on technical. I just want to see how does it perform based on TA to show you guys in this chat room as well, in this video as well. So we can see what is Gut Force AI. Anything related to AI, correct? Anything related to AI. You can be bear. I think it's Big Bear or Bear Big. I can't remember lah. So Big Bear, there is also related to AI. Yes, Big Bear, we can see it's also $2 plus. Alright, it's all speculative. It's all speculative. I chose C3 is because the market cap is bigger. There's a lot of project ongoing. That's why I chose C3. Or the AI may not be earning money at this point of time. Just speculative. So we shall see how do we play out on this Gut Force. Don't come and bite me. Like I said, I don't check much on this. I just pure on TA, speculative play. Alright, so we shall see $7. The first support level. Because after the breakout, if let's say it covered, engulfing will not be a good sign. So $7 will be the first level we will be looking at. Good volume, pullback, low volume, good volume, breakout. I think it's you can go and see any news on here, whichever you prefer. So first, I'm going to give my first layer. Alright, $18. Sorry. Okay, $18 will be my first level. I'm looking at for this counter, whereby it's only 12.75. Okay, ever the close higher, then we will be looking at the top 23. Okay, we will be looking at the peak. Okay, so if let's say it break above 23.50, then we will know where is the next level. All right, so I bias upside on this counter. Let me write it down. But it's pure on technical play. It's a gambling. I can say that it's upfront gambling. So if you like the thrill, let's thrill. I see where does it go. All right, do something more fun this time round. Okay, so gambling. Okay, so support 7. Okay, so break bias upside, break 18, C23 next. Okay, so this is purely TA and gambling. Okay, I know I shouldn't say I shouldn't talk about is gamble because it's a bit non-ethical, right, to say because it's really high risk, but I believe there are risk taker out there. Definitely they text me as well. So in TA basis, pullback, decent volume up is a good sign and cuffing. So we just based on PTA and see where does this trade goes. Okay, so let me just take note. Very high risk. Okay, do your own due diligence. Okay. Okay, so alright, so that's all for this week sharing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys on next week as well. Remember to share to your friends who thinks that the video does benefit as well. Alright, thank you. Enjoy your weekend. Bye bye everyone.